She was good. And another one flaws. Judah. Imagine your father is a boxing legend who beat none other than Mayweather. I want to fight the best they got out there. I would love to fight Mayweather. Respectfully trying to get that left shoulder up and get his head as far behind as possible. Mayweather in the fight. Mayweather, he's a post retains his IBF junior welterweight title. And this is you trying to be a boxing legend like your father. From SC. He's not got that left. Tszyu was one of the most dominant forces in the lighter weight classes during the 90s. Despite his modest frame, he was a brutal knockout artist. The world remembers his 31 victories, multiple championship titles, and his iconic hairstyle. But such a massive legacy didn't sit well with one person. His son Tim Tszyu. Tim didn't want to live in his father's shadow, so he decided to become a boxer himself. First, his father didn't want him to take on such a difficult path in life. Eventually, however, he agreed under one condition. Tim was not allowed to fight opponents from the post-Soviet region, meaning Ukrainians, Kazakhs, Chechens, Dagestanis, and so on. His father told him that he would only be allowed to face such fighters once he was truly ready, and only when his father gave the word. But Tim, who had grown used to defying his father and finding success in doing so, chose not to listen, and he was brutally punished for it. But still on love. We let that left hook. I do not know how he's still standing, but he's not got with that left hook. But let's start from the very beginning. Tim Tszyu was born on November 2, 1994. In Sydney, Australia, into a wealthy and well-known boxing family. His father is legendary world champion Tszyu, which meant Tim grew up in comfort and never lacked for anything. Surrounded by the world of professional sports, Tim experienced a privileged upbringing with strong discipline and focus. Although boxing was always around him, Tim initially played soccer at a competitive level during his early teens. However, around the age of 15, he decided to follow his father's path and took up boxing seriously. He later studied business at the University of Technology, Sydney, before fully committing to a professional boxing career. Despite his famous surname, Tim was determined to earn respect in the ring on his own term, trading under the guidance of his uncle. In 2012, Tim had 4 dozen amateur bouts. Comparisons to his great father were inevitable, but no amount of pressure could stop him from writing his own story. And I'm super proud. Super proud as a son of what my dad did, and but at the same time be known as not just Tszyu's son, but I want to be known as Tim. And then, it's taken years and years of work. 22-year-old made his pro debut at the end of 2016, joining the 154 pounds light middleweight division. Already in his early performances, Tszyu actively utilized the jab. Remember Cost and here fired laser-sharp crosses. He's new to the game. One thing there, just like going back in time, consistently kept opponents at the end of his punches right. Of course, I wonder if Campbell hated a lovely left hook, and I remember being in a training camp when I was young. That's a punch perfect, and put them to sleep. I think he wants him to have some training camps in Russia, just too much here for Ivano say. The sniper-like straight shots were a hallmark feature of Tszyu's style. Now, the audience had a second chance to enjoy surgical work in the ring. In May 2018, with a record of 8-0, Tim defended his regional title against veteran Larry Tszyu, continuously pressing forward. The Australian uncorked uppercuts. He's a strong, even though he's his own fighter, he possesses that, and generously distributed hooks against the ropes and wearing them from their shoulders. That was a nice big punch. By the third round, Tszyu upped his intensity. Here in round 3, he started throwing with more heat. There is a cut high on the head of Tszyu was doomed to taste the canvas. which Tszyu wipes away. There's a big shot. With the right hand, the fight was about to resume, but a sudden robot dance. Relax how he freed that right hand. You watch, he will look for that. He convinced the referee to intervene. He cannot answer. A similar fate awaited former IBO Asian champion Stevie Ferdinandez, whose period of wakefulness in the ring lasted 60 seconds. Came back and won that one as it went to business. Next, Tszyu welcomed a guest of Argentina, Marcos Carnillo, who devoured a cross right out of the gate. Overhand right, but Tszyu finds him with a big shot and snacked on a series of uppercuts. Have a look at that pace. Doesn't need. This is a G. There's a lot of resentment. Big uppercut. And that'll do. Finishing one guy after another, Tszyu made people take him seriously. In the beginning of 2019, Tim earned a shot at another regional title, sharing the ring with former Intercontinental Champion Danton Vessel with a solid resume of 25-5. Tszyu immediately got the right hand going, landed a nice pull counter. Used to do that movement, and smacked Dant with a 1U. May not be the best opportunity and the best career move. And here are some of the wobbly opponent was saved by the bell. Tszyu is making easy work here. In the second round, Tim continued to keep him at point-blank range. But everything comes off as sharp. Shooting with sniper-like 1-2s. He might just straight punch. Vessel's dome endured a couple more connections. He's not too far away before eventually cracking this. Ever. But the thing is, this is, oh beautiful, showered by subsequent blows. Could have collapsed completely, timing a dented Vessel. Fortunately, the referee did his job. Opens up and is just whacking away at will. 6 months later, Tim challenged the 19-1 Dwight Ritchie. The match between the two bright prospects garnered wide attention in their respective homelands, and 2 minor belts were at stake as usual. Tszyu trusted his primary weapon. Gets through and there's a nice, adding a left hook off of a slip. Came in without much, but now that